I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Oshi No Ko Season 2, Episode 11. Last episode, Ruby reignited the light inside of Himura's life. He has direction. He has passion. We're getting a song made and written.
Honestly, I feel like last episode, episode 10, that scene specifically with Himura and Ruby is basically just a real zoomed in look on what Oshi No Ko in general does for creative people.
I agree with that.
Or people in general. It's taking you on a space journey of creativity.
Excited to go to Miyazaki, but I don't know if the white-haired girl is a white-haired girl who is a person.
Who's a girl.
Or if it's more like ghosty, mythological,
like demon,
spirit. I don't know. Because that stuff,
Reaper.
I don't know.
I kind of hope it's like spooky.
We'll see.
We'll see.
You ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. On High Dive, it doesn't give the next episode slot for Oshi No Ko, which worries me. This might be the last episode of the season, but I thought that there was 13, and that was based off of basically nothing. So I'm hoping that we get more.
I mean, to end a season off going to Miyazaki where the body is and where Ruby was in the hospital, we've ended the Tokyo Blade arc.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
Right where we left off. Kinda.
今回は2泊3日の長期滞在よ。そんなのダメよ。役者は撮影で地方ロケも多い。アイドル活動にも必需品。キャリーケースは私たちの相棒よ。
True.
まああんたは右も左もわからないだろうし。私も明日の夕方はたまたまオフだし。この地方ロケのベテランが直々に選んであげても。
じゃあ16時に新宿東口待ち合わせでいいか。
え
The fact she's like,
oh no.
her brain probably short-circuited for a moment. Not the sexy one.
タレントの私服といえばスポーツミックスにダットスニーカー。
I like the casual wear. Airport fashion is me.
ギャップを狙うか？私という素材をマックスに生かすならロリ&ガーリー路線でこういうやつ？
That's my personal favorite.
って所詮女子受け路線なのよね。
Did she just say it ultimately appeals to girls? And I just said that's my personal favorite.
遅刻しちゃった。絶対に嫌味言われる。
なんでタレントって約束の時間に来ないの？
Something's gonna be weird. After what Himikawa said about the fact that he was leading these two girls on, I feel like...
お待たせしました。
I'm so excited.
ごめんね、遅れて。
He ordered her a drink?
外寒かったらホットラテ頼んどいた。
Oh my god.
And it's a heart. I'm never gonna drink this ever.
もう冬だしな。
Would be harder to find the body in the winter.
待たせちゃったし、ここは私が出すから。
俺が出すよ。
でも。
こういう時は男が出すもんだろ。
お釣りになります。ありがとう。お待たせしました。
No.
まあさすがにね。遅刻してきた身だし、世の中はもう男女平等だし。お会計1432円になります。
スイカで。
はい、どうぞ。ありがとうございました。
行くぞ。
ちょっと突然お支払い盗まれた。私が出そうと思ってたのに。
He was being efficient. That's what that was. Time efficiency. What color suitcase? Black for
I think
Aqua?
black. Maybe silver.
この辺の好きな色選んで。
Oh, white,
White would be
with a belt.
nice.
じゃあ白にするか。
いいんじゃない？
What if they were matching?
白。私のサイリウムカラー。
Oh my god.
The glow stick,
Oh my
right?
god.
自意識過剰って分かってるけど。
荷物。キャリーケースの上に乗っけるからよ。
See,
Amazing.
he's just such a kind, thoughtful guy when he doesn't have to worry about revenge murder all the time.
分かってない。分かってない。分かってないのに。
That's it. He doesn't get it.
用事も終わったし解散するか。
でももう19時だし、ちょっとお腹空いちゃったかも。
そうだな。肉でいいか。
肉好き。いらっしゃいませ。
予約の星野です。
2名様ですね。
What the
お待ちしておりました。
Aqua! What the?
He seemed genuine about going home, right?
Did he have things ready just in case she was hungry?
予約してるじゃない。しかも動線も完璧で、私の空腹加減を問わない食べ放題ブラジリアンバーベキュー。手慣れてない。女の子の扱いに手慣れすぎてない。
そう
It's
か。
very mature.
やってることが金持ってるアラサー業界人のそれよ。
Former 30-year-old doctor.
相手に楽しんでもらおうと思ってプラン組めば、おのずとこういう感じになるんじゃね。
楽しませようとしてくれてたんだ。そんなこと言っちゃって、茜とはどうするつもりなの？
そろそろ答えを出そうと思ってる。
そう。
ずっと俺は恋愛とかしてはいけないと思ってて、
Oh my god.
もういいのかもと思ってて。だから今更だけど、ちゃんと考えてるっていうか。
This is him giving it real
恋愛の
thought.
自由は基本的人権よ。
アイドルが言うセリフじゃないけどな。
今はあんたの話をしてるの。
あ、そうだったな。
Oh my god.
He's taking this seriously because now, because of the liberation.
I know,
Like, yeah,
but it's
that's
such a
important.
fuck you to us when we know it's not going to be a liberation forever.
どこに？このテンションだと連れてかれちゃう。歌舞伎町の天外ベッドがあるホテルと連れてかれちゃう。どうしよう。
Did you see the little smile?
Yeah.
It's like he knows what's going on in her head.
普通に送られた。
Yes, that's what we want.
何よ。
We should be happy about this.
What the heck?
はしてないけど。
That's just
It's
unfortunate.
basically like the same picture she had taken.
はい、チーズ。
はい、チーズだって。おじさんみたい。
言わないのか、今の子は。
It's like he's
It's
present for the
endearing.
first time in this entire series.
前から気になって
It
たん
is
だ
like
け
he's
ど、
present with like
なんで顔を
who he is in
つぶつぶ
this
させるの？
world for the first time.
可愛くない？なんでそんなこと言うかな、もう。
茜との今後も考えなきゃいけない。父親を探すという目的を失った今、茜を手元に置いておく必要もなくなった。こいつの賢さは使える。そんな俺のエゴで縛り付ける必要もなくなった。いや、だからこそだ。茜みたいな若くて未来のある子をいつまでも。
年末年始は毎年家族で海外とか行くけど。
We're not
め
gonna
ちゃくちゃ育
invite.
ちがいいタイプだ。
We're not gonna invite her, right?
仕事で修学旅行も行けなかったし、同世代がみんなでって。
Never traveled with a
一度も行
big
ったこと
group
ない。
that's all my
い
age.
いな。
Must be nice.
じゃあ、茜も行くか。
He's not thinking with this brain right
どうや
now.
ら東ブレイアン旅行も兼ねてるらしいさ。
Okay, he's thinking with the logical side of his brain.
茜とはそろそろじっくり話をしなきゃいけないと思っていたし。
じっくり話
It's a terrifying thing to hear.
But she also probably
Aqua
feels like she
Aqua.
needs it.
そろそろ私と別れたいんだ。言い回しが下手だよ。それじゃ私でも察しちゃう。でもこんな気持ちのまま旅行の日まで過ごさなきゃいけないのは嫌だよ。そういう話をするなら
I love how mature
今から
Akane
し
is.
ようよ。
How clear and honest do you think he'll be?
今がちからもう半年くらいいろいろあったけど、
I
あの
imagine
番
he
組
was
楽
very
しかったよね。
clear.
これは番組の形式上始まった関係で、本物じゃないから。
そうだよね。本当の恋人じゃないもんね。
Look at where we are.
Wow.
キスだって番組の中でしたあの一回きりだし、手だって一度も繋いだこ。私はもう必要ない？何かの役に立てた？知ってるよ。君は私が何かしらに利用できそうだからそばにいたってことくらい。
And she said she'd kill with you.
そういう
She
ずる
wanted
賢
to be
いところ
useful.
があるってのは最初から知ってた。でもね、知ってるのはそれだけじゃないよ。この場所だ。君がここで私を助けてくれたのに何も打算なんてなかったって知ってる。アクア君にキスされて嫌じゃなかったのは君が優しいって知ってたから。私、アクア君とならキスだってエッチだって嫌じゃないよ。
Aqua
He's
was
blushing.
blushing.
あかね、それは言ってもわからないと思うし。
ほら、そうやってごまかしてさ、素直に思ってること言ってよ。
This could lead to Aqua
すぐエ
thinking
ッ
it
チもし
through.
ない交際とか意味ないって思ってるんでしょ。
思ってねえよ。思ってねえよ。
思ってる感じじ
思ってるか思ってないかの二択を迫られたら思ってるに決まってるだろ。
ゃん。
でも別にそれとこれとは関係ない。逆に聞くけど、茜は俺に恋愛感情があるのか？
もちろんあるよ。もちろんあるよ。
自信ない感じじゃねえか。茜からそういうの感じたことがない。
わかんないよそんなの。今まで男の人と付き合ったことないんだから。だからわかんないよ。私たちの関係がどんなのかなんて。
Buddies.
基礎飛ばして大
Good
儲かりしてる
friends.
気分。私はアクア君の力になりたいよ。それは本当のこと。
Gratitude towards a good friend.
言ってたよね。ある人を殺すために芸能界に入ったって。でもさ、君が抱えてるものを少しだけ預けられる人が必要だと思って。
もうそれはいい。
It's coming. It has to. It's gonna be through Akane.
俺は母親を死に追いやった男、俺の父親を探していた。そいつはおそらく芸能界にいて、そいつを探すために芸能界に入った。
If she hears the name, she might be like, there's no way they interacted.
今まで100人近く。
結構お値段かかったんじゃない？
500万は使ったと思う。
Whew.
その結果、俺の異母兄弟が見つかった。俺の父親は他の女と結婚してて、母親とは不倫だったらしい。俺が追っていたクズ男はとっくの昔に殺されていたっていうつまらないオチ。でもどこかホッとしてる自分がいる。やっと解放された。
But would she say something if she hears him talk like this?
恋愛をしたり演技に打ち込んでみるのもいい。ようやく俺は自由に。
Wow.
どうした？
いや、ごめんね。結構ヘビーな話だったからちょっと体調が。ごめんね、私帰る。結婚、無理心中、クズ男。アクア君は心のどこかで終わりにしたいと思ってたんだ。だからこんな簡単な抜け穴に気づかない。
And that's why she left.
もう気づいてしまえばまた復讐のためだけ
And he
に生きるよう
said
に。
how he felt about
どう
this
しよ
freedom. Oh my god. That's a place to be in.
Fucking
Poor
yeah. it is.
Akane, to be honest.
う。でね、今度宮崎にロケ行くんだよ。懐かしいよね。お兄ちゃん最近ちょっと明るくなったっていうか、つきものが落ちた？
For how long, though? For how long? Same color hair.
カラスが鳴くからか。
Fuck.
お
しのルビー美人に育ったね。
The?
Their father?
No way!
さすが君と僕の子だ。
What the fuck?
Okay, that was Oshi No Ko, Season 2, Episode 11.
Do you think it's the finale now?
It probably is.
Probably
God
is.
damn it.
I don't know why I thought this was gonna be third. I think I might have been like, how many episodes are in this season? And Siri told me 13 or whatever.
Fuck. God damn it. This is so... It's so good. It's so good. We saw him. We saw him. We saw him and he's aware
But
of
I
Ruby,
don't-
obviously, but God.
I don't want to believe it. Like, if he hadn't said our child, I would have been like, super... I more just stubbornly, not because, like, it doesn't make sense or
Yeah.
wouldn't be, like, very kind of clear, especially based on character design and hair color. I feel like I just want to be stubborn. Like, I just want to not because I want it to be the guy with the murder-suicide. I don't think it is. I did not think it was. But I almost just am like, nope, this can't be it for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm, like, not ready for it.
Who is he?
Yeah,
He's in
who
a
is he?
disguise. He's younger. I would assume that means he's someone of notoriety. Whether he's an actor or just famous in another regard. He looks younger than I would think he would.
You know what your comment about him looking younger made me think of? With Aqua and Kana's conversation and date at the barbecue place, she brings up how a lot of relationships in the industry are age gap.
What did she say, actually? Like, what were her lines of dialogue there?
We'll pull it up.
Show business probably has lots of age gap romances because dates like this or something. Yeah, you acquire a taste for this. He looks... what we get from him, granted, it's hard to go off of, just sunglasses and a hat and a trench coat. Do you think that I would look the same age as he does now or older? Do you think that he's younger than I?
I was young when she gave birth to the twins.
Yeah.
So she would be a young mom. I feel like she would look young. I feel like he could fit. Obviously,
same
we're also
age.
not seeing underneath the glasses. I think that helps a lot, that we're not seeing, like, what his eyes look like. Because I feel like in terms of, like, being able to tell someone's age, sometimes a lot of that can come from the eyes, even in drawn format.
No, I agree with you, but because you brought up the point of Kana making saying the line of dialogue of age gap, you'd think that narratively it's either going to be he was much older than I or the opposite.
But I also can't imagine I as a teenager with, like, a younger teenager preteen.
That's fair.
So
I think he has to be famous, right? Because he's in disguise. What, like, you're not hiding yourself from Ruby.
you couldn't. Okay. So I've been sitting here being like, so is he really in the entertainment business? Is it someone that I knows from, like, growing up in, she was in, like, a children's home or something, so a friend that she met, an acquaintance that was in similar positions to her emotionally. But now that you're bringing up the fact that he's in a disguise, I'm also like, he either would if he's not famous, he wears a disguise just in case Ruby's there.
Ruby wouldn't recognize him. Ruby doesn't know what he looks like.
But what if he just, like, looks so much like them? Also, Ruby doesn't know what Aqua's been doing. Ruby doesn't know that Aqua thinks their dad is dead.
Yeah, still, I don't... you don't wear a disguise on a random day to go to Ai's gravestone in the chance that Ruby shows up. You do it because you're hiding your identity from everybody.
And if he knew her in a public capacity, like, it was known that they would hang out even if they were co-stars of some sort,
then he
wouldn't
be in a
need
disguise.
to wear a disguise. Right, and what we get for the previous part of this episode is the idea of like how people of show business dress when they are going on a trip.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they would be like more in casual clothes, more in it like maybe a mask, maybe, you know, sunglasses, a hat, a little more trying to blend in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, but I'm just like, obviously I can't doubt that this is the father. I think I'm just being like so stubborn in my mind right now because I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
It's because it was such like the other shoe just dropped. Like the first shoe dropped with like Himikawa, you're my half sibling, and now the second shoe is dropped, and I don't know what to do with either of them.
Here's the thing though, in terms of if it was a younger person, Himikawa's older.
Yeah, right.
So it maybe around the same age of each other, I and the dad. I'm trying to think if we can gauge any. So
the Himikawa's mom was in a show as well. Like she was an actress on like a day TV show.
They worked together on that TV show, and that's the through point narratively, or it's just in the industry they're famous, right?
Mm-hmm. Aqua guessed that it was the La La Live days.
We know for sure that this is him.
Mm-hmm.
We know for sure, I'd say 90% sure that he is famous enough to be recognized in public. If that's the case, it would reason to be that he would meet Himikawa's mother in that same industry kind of side of things. I wonder if that's where we're gonna go. Like if and when we can talk about how Akane and Aqua might, you know, converge in this thought, but once that comes to pass, the next step I would go would be, Himikawa, that wasn't your real dad. Tell me everything about your mom. I'm going to go down that's
cross-reference everywhere and everything your mom did to everything and everywhere that I was.
Yeah. And see if there was any crossover in terms of an actor.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I imagine it goes. Now, once...
But then what Akane's holding a heavy burden of not only Aqua's feelings, but Himikawa's feelings. Like, there's two people on the line here. Maybe she doesn't know that Ruby doesn't know either. So she's like, in her head, she's like, there are three people's, like, ideas of their past that I could just totally implode here.
I don't think she has thought once about Himikawa or Ruby within this thought process.
Well, right here, yeah. I mean, like, she's smart.
I think
she can see the whole scope eventually.
She can see, the whole scope is in front of her eyes, but there's no focus on it. Like, she only gives a shit about what this is going to do to Aqua, and I am so fascinated in what you think, like, she will decide. Because on one hand, if she does keep it closer to her chest for even a little bit, and then Aqua finds out she knew or had an inkling, that is going to be a very dramatic unveil. I know that it's such a great plot point because everything we know about Akane would tell us that, of course, that she would help Aqua out by telling him, even though that it would push him back into it, because it's not truly help. So but then you're met with the point of, oh God, would she take it upon herself and try to track down the murderer and kill him without Aqua knowing?
Oh, interesting that she might try to do the research for him. Maybe, like, in hopes that if she does reveal it to him, she could then bring a lead.
But he doesn't know, she doesn't know the half-brother. She just knows that there is a half-brother. So she would have less information than if they had gone forward together with it.
I mean, she could eventually squeeze that out of him.
Yeah.
And I think she could suss out, like, who he had gone to dinner with and maybe talked to. Oh, well, him and Himikawa went by themselves, and what's Himikawa's situation for his birth? Oh, his parents died by a murder-suicide? Like, I think she could piece that together through a little bit of, like, thinking about who Aqua has recently been around.
Yeah.
Or interacted with. If I were to put myself in her shoes right here, like, this is a really tough question of how to act, because, like you said, the eventual once they start being suspicious again about if their dad really was that guy, and then they find out that you knew, I think that obviously I always am like a truth for the most part is the best thing, but obviously the conundrum is just how peaceful, especially we the viewer, has seen Aqua be since episode 10 Liberation. And that's exactly what Akane has seen, is that she's hearing from his mouth, now I feel like I can enjoy romance and enjoy life and think about what I want to do about acting. And you just pulled up a really good line.
Somewhere in his heart, Aqua had wanted to put an end to this.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. That's why he doesn't notice such a simple loophole. That's so sad, and it makes so much sense. Like, at the end of last episode, when we're like, okay, it's nope, not true. Dad's not dead. I like, you have a thought like, well, Aqua's one of the smartest characters in the show.
That's why he's avoiding the simple loophole.
Yeah.
He wanted the out.
It's just that's so sad.
And we know that he wanted the out. Like, we know by how almost scared he was of his past self's anger and revenge.
Yeah.
He was almost scared of it. The fact that he wasn't even seeing it as a human shape, he was seeing it more as this grotesque haunting. And then we get that imagery of him as a literal child Aqua being basically confronted by it in the hallway in front of Ai. But
if he were to realize he'd go back to living only for revenge, what should I do? I don't think this is gonna happen, but just in in a hypothetical multiverse way, imagine Akane is more crazy about Aqua and keeping their relationship together and isn't as emotionally mature and uses it as like a push to keep them together, and so Aqua needing her.
I was at some point during their talk where Aqua brings up that like it's not necessary anymore to need help with that. I did think that for a brief second, like, oh, are we gonna spin her character to a place where this thing that she felt like she was needed for by him is something she doesn't want to lose? Because almost that's like the last string that connects them, and one that also makes her feel like a purpose and like she can repay a debt, if you will, repay her gratitude. I think that that Akane is the perfect character to have learned this because of the fact that she undeniably wants to help him shoulder this burden. So to have someone relay the information to Aqua of like, hey, your revenge isn't over, and it be the person who's willing to shoulder it with you. Yeah. That's the best scenario.
The only reason I even entertained that, because of like, I wouldn't put that on Akane necessarily, but I have to entertain it when you're dealing with such a massive subject that is killing somebody, and you're talking about it out in the open, and you know how important it is to somebody, that when you get to that level of severity, everything's out the window in terms of what that could do to you internally and your own emotions and shouldering that alone. But I don't know. God.
And it's sad because we saw him being such like aware and really in his shoes and in his life and just really present, and to get him like reacting like, oh my god, say cheese is an old thing to say, or it's almost for a second it's like he was realizing, oh, I have to think about how I speak to people and how I present myself, because then right after the say cheese moment, he brings up to Akane that guys don't like those filters, and instead of being like cold about how her response is like a little upset over that, he almost seems insecure, like with the fact that he's been blunt and honest here. He's finally like, oh, this is how I talk to people, this is how they respond to it. Do I like how they're responding to it? Are they happy?
It's fascinating because it feels like ever since he died, he has been a character with an inner monologue, and that inner monologue dictates what comes out of his mouth and what actions he takes. And now you take away the inner monologue, and it's just him acting like it's just him being. And there's such a stark difference.
And I think that something else that's cool with that difference in this episode is we're shown a highlight that Kana has always been the one that he's completely himself talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Kana has always been that for him, that person where it's almost like he broke those walls and when he talked to her. It's just like I always felt like he was really present, except when he was like distracted by things. But in terms of how they banter and how they talk and how the scenes where they were outside at the bench, you know, like it always seemed like he was very like, he's always been very present with Kana, which is a check for her in terms of her possibly getting the guy that she wants someday. She also, in this episode, her rival gets dumped, so she's really benefiting.
Do you think that it's something that turns around quickly and Akane ends up going on the trip because of this realization?
I think that she's gonna go regardless because her line was something like, I would like to talk about it before going. Like, she's like, I'd like the breakup to happen before. And something about that language does lend for me to interpret that she still would plan on going. Which also I think is then aided by the fact that she doesn't even think they realize that she doesn't even have romantic love for him. Yeah. It's much more of like a care and a friendship that's there.
I can't stand the thought of feeling like this all the way up until the trip, though. I love her so much. Because, like, my first thought is like, holy shit, I'm going to be spending the next days and nights thinking about what their answer is going to be. And she has the immediate response to it in such a mature way.
And later on in the episode, she says she's not even necessarily upset about the fact that they're breaking up. Yeah.
It's more, it goes from there to immediate care for him. Like, if it's not me, I do think there should be someone there shouldering what you're going through.
Thank goodness. Because Aqua's character and what he's been through does not deserve a starving, obsessed girl that is going to sabotage your life and your feelings in order to keep you close to her. Like, Aqua has said that the reason that he's breaking up with Akane is because he doesn't want to, like, basically keep her captive. Especially if he doesn't know necessarily how he feels, and there's just so much talent in her and places she can go. Which also opens me up to, what does he think about Kana then?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Kana is in at all the same category. Like, it's almost like there's two personas, right? Like, being used and being present. And Akane, to a certain extent, like, I'm wondering what she'd do. Would she rather be used, or would she try to help without saying anything?
I like that you've put that into motion, that she might try to figure things out herself. I don't know how they're gonna go with it. I feel like because she might still be going on the trip, that there's going to be a reveal of information. If
she knew the Himikawa half-sibling information, I might like have more of an inkling one way or the other.
Researching Himikawa's mother could completely help figure out who the father is. Yes. And so the moment Akane realizes or figured it out that it's Himikawa that's the half-sibling, I mean, the murder-suicide bit is, like, that's a big clue in of, like, who might be the half-sibling.
But what do you do when you don't have that information? Since she doesn't have that information now, she has to make a choice on what she's going to do without that information. Like, does she do what you say and go, okay, I am going to figure it out by myself. First step, let's figure out who the half-sibling is. Or is it going to be, I'm just going to tell Aqua?
I think when she has that line,
or keep it a secret.
I don't think she's going to keep it a secret. That's my, like, current feelings. She has that line that we just had brought up that she wouldn't want to be feeling and thinking about these things for the couple days before the trip. This might be a couple days of thinking, if she's going, this might be a couple days of trying to figure out how and what she's going to do, how she's going to handle it. And I think in the process of trying to think about it, she is going to want to shore up her feelings that there's a loophole. She's going to want to be absolutely sure that she doesn't think that this man was Aqua's father that died. Dude. She's not going to want to just present him with this loophole if she doesn't really feel like she can back it up with evidence that the search is not over.
The way that they fucking draw expressions in this show, like you saw it like snap in between Akane.
And I didn't
It's
know
a
what the
completely
snap
different
was.
person.
And I think that it was intentional that you could read that snap as, is she upset because her one thing that she had tying her and Aqua together of being like her helping him with this search is going away, that's the snap? But it's not. That's not the snap.
It seems it was murder-suicide. The boring outcome of all this is that piece of trash man I was searching for was murdered a long time ago. Oh my god. It's amazing. It's everything. I wish I could draw. I wish I could draw this. I don't think I've ever felt the desire after seeing a character and their expression in any medium that has made me want to draw them until now. Akane, I think, is my favorite.
The eyes.
Top 5 favorite characters in like fiction for me.
Okay, if I were to, do you have a preference between Akane or Kana?
Akane.
Kana.
Like in terms of like personal preference or who you want to end up with Aqua.
Oh, I'm just going personal.
I love Akane.
Okay. I'm going Kana.
That's fair. I feel like it's a good thing that we feel differently about that. I don't know why.
We don't have to compete.
Yeah.
She's my favorite character.
Man, the visualization with... It's so interesting. I would love to see his eyes. I don't imagine there's any star there, but like I fuck you for making him wear glasses.
So
God.
we know that he has the same hair color, which is something that I've almost been searching for, is someone that I felt like had Ruby and Aqua's hair color, because Ai's hair color is so different.
Mm-hmm.
Like the father's hair had to come into play here for Ruby and Aqua's hair. Is that biology that you study that? Like biology class in like freshman year? I remember nothing of how genetics and things like that are passed down, of hair color, eye color. I remember none of that. But there's something about the dark blue black making blonde babies that I'm like, the father needs to have blonde hair for me to believe this.
Surely.
But what do his eyes look like? I want to see his eyes.
I wonder how often he comes to Ai's grave.
Okay, another thing that I'd want to talk about for him is, what are the vibes you get from him in this short little presentation of him?
I don't know, it's so difficult, because on one hand you get the idea that he has genuine emotion and empathy for Ai dying, because if not, he wouldn't be putting flowers in the grave, especially because he's doing it in such a private, disguised way. On the other hand, like the smirk, the look back at Ruby, it could be like a, oh yeah, Ai, like a positive, like, of course she'd be beautiful, but it's also like, you twisted fuck, you love how things played out.
So I wrote down the word smug.
Yeah.
That I feel like I wrote down like, while he's here, he's bringing flowers to the grave. He says our child, even though like even if he was a horrible guy, they're still his children too. So of course he'd say our child. But there's something about just the word choices alone that I'm like, okay, maybe he could be read as there in with good intention, but there was a smugness to him too that I'm like, am I misunderstanding you? Are you some sort of personality that's similar to how Aqua is when he acts, you know?
Yeah. So when we get the call between Ai and him, and Ai brings up like, no, they're not, no, this isn't because I'm trying to get back together. Do you take that at all as he was wanting to get back together?
Yeah.
Because I broke up with him. you know, our kids have gotten pretty big. Want to try meeting them.
Well,
no, I'm not trying to get back together or anything like that.
Shoot, this could be our Akane and Aqua scene could be the example of the drastic difference in the parallels of I can't have him, no one else can.
Yeah, that's
vibe.
That's where I was trying to go with it.
Like, that's revenge. Like, he got revenge for getting broken up with.
I think, like, on one hand, I don't have to read it like this was him trying to get back together with her on the phone, but on a hypothetical hand, I could look at it as, like, if nobody else is touching Ai, if I can't have her.
Mm-hmm. Also, they both just choose the roundest, biggest of sunglasses to wear in their disguises.
They met in a sunglass hut. Confirmed.
That's where they met. Mm-hmm. That's where they would secretly meet so that it would make sense that they had sunglasses on inside.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's all I have you.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we hope to see you next time.